Maclaren! What's new? J-Mac has another A-League goal.
The highest goal scorer in A-League history.
A striker's instinct. Where will the ball drop? That's where I'll be. Oh, Jamie Maclaren! You beauty!
One of Australia's greatest.
You will never be like me. I can't.
I was actually at the Asian Cup with the Socceroos, and Melbourne City were in touch, and I wanted to be a part of that. I've always had a dream to play in front of my family, and you know, spending time at Blackburn, Perth, Brisbane, the timing was right to come back to Australia, and what better way to come to your hometown, and couldn't wait to sign on the dotted line and get across. We joked about it, me and Michael, because we only had probably 30 minutes to spare before it was deadline day. So pretty thankful it went over the line, and I flew straight to Sydney and watched in the grandstand the first game against Sydney FC, and I was available the following week, which was this one, Adelaide United.
And the transfer window delivered Melbourne City a new look strike force, which Warren Joyce unleashes tonight. Jamie Maclaren, the scorer of 51 A-League goals, alongside 21-year-old Shea Harrison.
What I do remember about that night is the game kind of started quite slowly for me, and I was just eager to get off on the right foot.
Now it might come. Backheel from Harrison. Maclaren! We couldn't have asked for a much better opening than that.
I came in with pressure, I'm not going to lie. I came in with a lot of question marks over me. Why is he coming back? Is he still the Jamie of old of golden boots at Brisbane? So yeah, I did have a point to prove, but that was more to myself. That wasn't because I knew that what eventuated was going to happen, and I just had to believe in myself.
Reluctant to take off his top scorer. Maclaren's made something happen again inside the box this time. Bratton, Maclaren! What a way to open his accounts for Melbourne City. The Mac is back, and it's 1-1. And he set up that opportunity, closing down Paul Izzo, keeping it alive in the opposition box. And then he was there to turn it home for goal number 52 in the A-League, and his first for City.
You can see when I score the goal, I'm tapping the badge and saying I'm back. That was a great start, and from then on, the confidence was high, and I was just ready to make my mark. Consistency and rhythm as a striker is key, and if you can get goals week after week, you build that confidence, your teammates have more confidence in you, and you go out on the pitch before you're in the tunnel and you automatically think, okay, I'm going to get chances today.
There's a Jamie Maclaren. Is he brought down? He is, just as Bozza mentions that. They've won themselves a penalty.
I made a meal of the actual challenge, but he did clip me, and it was a penalty. I remember before I took the penalty, Diamante was trying to get him to my head because he thinks I slipped.
Diamante doing a little bit of gardening.
I have to say, with this penalty, I don't think I hit it as clean as I wanted to.
Jamie Maclaren to put Melbourne City in the lead. Oh, what a finish, what a penalty, what a goal scorer.
I went right into the side netting, and Curto didn't really have a chance. You can probably see the relief in me. I was probably thinking like, yeah, I didn't hit it as clean as I wanted, but my thing is when you score goals and you've got the boys around you, that's the best feeling. Not when the ball hits the net, it's this. When the boys are around you, they knew what was at stake. Obviously getting into a grand final, but also knowing that it was my first golden boot at this club, and yeah, it's a special moment.
There's Griffiths again, see if he can last till half time. No, he's gone. He's done.
Because we had such a great group then, but we still got an amazing group now, but we were so tight-knit that if Jamo wasn't playing, Roston would step in, you know, I would step in, for example, and we just had such a group that it was a piece of elastic, because at the end of the day, we had 11 captains out there on game day. You know, I might not be a leader with the voice, but I think it's sometimes I can do it with actions, and there's leadership in different aspects of a football player.
City have really opened it up. 𝐈𝐂𝐎𝐍𝐈� on one side and Tilio introduced, and all of a sudden Luna's become a factor. And what a ball that is for 𝐈𝐂𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿, and Maclaren does have his goal. And what a goal it is, a team goal of pure excellence from Melbourne City.
It's an honour, first and foremost, but a captain is someone who will put everybody before themselves, and having seen and played under some amazing captains, not only for City, but also Socceroos and previous clubs, they're the guys that are in between the staff and the dressing room, and that's very important to have that link. And whenever there's any issues, whether it's outside of the football pitch with families and little things or their big things, you're the guy that your teammates turn to, and that's something that it is nice to have that responsibility of being that shoulder to lean on when players need you. But I will say that in my case, it was actually pretty special to see this year when things weren't going great for me. When I was coming on, players would run over and give me the armband, and I think that shows that the boys know that whenever I'm at my lowest, they would pick me back up, and that's bigger than anything in my eyes. Everybody knows my style of striker is a penalty box striker, so I love the instinctual ones where some people think, oh, how lucky is this guy? Or why does it always fall to him? And that's not by chance. That's because I almost see the picture a couple seconds before, or I gamble on things. But one that sticks out, and I'm not sure if you're going to have it, is, so I scored a goal against Western Sydney at 𝐈𝐂𝐿𝐿 Park. We had a corner, I think Flo took it.
Margush.
And it got cleared, and I was kind of coming off the edge of the box, and I hit it with my left foot.
Punches clear, Maclaren thumps it in, and he does continue the streak. 6 games in a row with a goal, and goes past Archie Thompson on the all-time list. It's goal number 91 in his A-League career.
And I celebrated, pointing to my family, and really, I think I was sliding with Mathew Leckie. And after the game, I checked my phone, and my dad said to me, "That's the best goal you've ever scored." And he said that because he was a player, but also, like, the technique for my left foot, it was my opposite foot, and I could just see him beaming with pride, and that made me feel like, you know, my dad's never really showed too much emotion, but to say that's the best goal you've ever scored was an amazing feeling. So if you can get that up, that would be pretty special too, to see that again.
It's a beautiful half volley. Like, how hard is this to do? From a reasonable height, the ball drops, and he just got the technique absolutely right.
This guy's 27 years old, Archie Thompson.
We had played them before and beat them 6.
Still going, Nathaniel Atkinson, and look at the numbers for City here as they hunt a 6th, and they get it! 𝐈𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿!
Going into this game, people were talking about it, and you know, when I was doing the press conference, I was like, I don't want to talk about the 6 because it won't happen again. But we were just ruthless.
And Maclaren sends the goalkeeper the wrong way. What's new? J-Mac has another A-League goal.
We smelt blood. Just the way we were scoring was just of pure conviction.
Here's in the boot. Outside of the boot! In! Andrew in the boot. In off the post for a worldie. Here goes Marco Tilio. Great ball in, and Jamie Maclaren heads home his second. Jamie Maclaren dispatches his second spot kick of the night, and it is hat-trick time and match ball again for Jamie Maclaren. 𝐈𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿 on the move. O'Neill's found him, and the header for Maclaren. He scored 4 in a derby. He wants number 5. Maclaren! Second man since Archie Thompson to score 5 in an A-League game.
Yeah, to score 5 and then do that was something that just came to mind, you know, at that moment. I'd never done it, whether I'm playing for Sunbury under-9s or Green Gully. I'd never scored 5, so it was pretty special to do that in my stadium, which is 𝐈𝐂𝐿𝐿 Park. Without a doubt, it's the best fixture in the A-Leagues. Maybe I'm a bit biased because I'm from this city, but 𝐈𝐂𝐿𝐿 Park or Marvel, wherever it is, there's always a cracking atmosphere, and they hate us, we hate them.
Maclaren, he's been a bit isolated in the last 10 minutes, but he's run onto that one. Here's Noon, slips it through for Berenguer. Oh, this will be a wonderful goal! What a goal by Melbourne City! It's maybe the winner for Jamie Maclaren. That's extraordinary work.
That goal, Flo, was just, I remember screaming my lungs out for Flo to backheel it, and Flo's the sort of guy that he would rather, if he was 2 yards out, he'd rather give it to someone else, so I knew he'd backheel it. So I followed the run and got him behind and actually mishit the ball, but the fact is, if I had have hit it cleanly, the keeper would save it.
Mate, this is champagne stuff. Such high-level football from Melbourne City.
At this end of the stadium against victory, what can Maclaren do? Scores! 3-3 for the Mac, and this one will mean so much more in front of friends and family in his hometown.
This penalty, I mean, the shushing thing was just because it was such a hostile crowd. I think there might have been, maybe, off the top of my head, maybe 40,000 there, and it was all victory behind that goal. And it's a feeling you struggle to describe, purely just because the heat of the moments, you can see the rude fingers coming up at you, Coke bottles getting launched. Players are always trying to get a bit cocky and stuff, but it fuels it, you know. If you weren't doing that stuff, on the pitch it wouldn't be as spicy or as sparky. So it is always good to do it because you don't get to play in these derbies every week. They come around every few months, and when they do come around and they work in your favour, you look back on them fondly, and we've had our fair share of good moments. I remember scoring my first, and then to reach Shane Smeltz and then pass Archie Thompson. My biggest rival was Bess, you know, and I won the Golden Boot with him. We shared it when he scored 100 goals in that season. So for me to know that I'm the second player in the A-Leagues to score 100, yeah, it's a special moment.
Galloway. O'Neill, first touch. Second touch was almost going to be a shot, but back to Galloway again. And there it is. Jamie Maclaren, right spot at the right time, and with his head, it's his 100th goal in the competition.
I've had my fair critics of not being able to score goals with my head, and it was nice. The 100th goal was with the noggin. So Scotty gave me 2 assists that night. He gave me this one for 101.
Again, this movement from City. It's opened up. Perth Glory. Maclaren! He's got a double. He scored his 100th. Now he has 101.
That is a brilliant team goal. And Maclaren in the penalty box, lethal, deadly.
The work I put in, the guys around me, the belief I have from the staff, you know, I had everything laid out, and it was really up to me to use the tools that I've got access to and just work day to day. And I had some good young kids that really wanted to learn in and around me, and I needed to show them the standards. Guys like Collar and stuff that I would drag across, Connor Metcalf would stay in directions back in this area when we were doing shooting drills almost every day, you know. Andrew McKenzie had to almost grab us by the scruff of the neck to rip us off the pitch. So it's no surprise when you do repetition that on the game day it comes to fruition and just shows that you can have all the talent in the world, but if you don't work for it, it's not going to work for you. Pure work is how I got these goals. I'm a bit old-fashioned when I say that when you spend 27 rounds just wanting to win a trophy and being so consistent, and the previous year, obviously Sydney FC edged us out, and with the hurt and everything, at that pre-season we kind of drew a line in the sand and said, right, it's going to be ours this year, and we're going to start to put steps in line to really get us a trophy, and that night was special.
And they've done it. Melbourne City have finally won their first trophy in the A-League. They've done it, and these fans who have, on occasions, especially in the Melbourne Heart days, sat through a fair bit of disappointment, not so much false hope, but wanting to be the big club in Melbourne first of all. Never mind the entire league, now they are very much both.
And you can see the fans, like they're in tears, and we were too once we went back into the sheds. You know, it was a special bond that you're going to have with a bunch of special people, and we didn't realise what was going to unfold after the first one.
The Premiers retain their crown. Back-to-back premierships for this City juggernaut.
It felt better, and I'll tell you a few reasons why. In the tunnel, 𝐈𝐂𝐎𝐿 was giving it to us, and he'll laugh about this because we always do. He was smashing us, saying, look how nervous the Melbourne City boys are. There's a trophy on the line, we're gonna take the trophy away from them. Victory fans were in the crowd supporting Wellington.
Gamorka again, it's near posted out. It's a second for Melbourne City, and it's Jamie Maclaren.
We scored an own goal maybe 5 minutes before that, and I had this gut feeling that I was going to score from this set piece. So I said to Andy Naboo, who was meant to be at the back post, I said, Andy, you run to the front, you flick it on, and I'll be there. It wasn't even like that we worked on it, it was more just a case of an instinctual thing that I was feeling, just flick it on and I'll be there. So we heard about the function and stuff that Victory had organised to celebrate if we hadn't got the result. So I'd say this one felt a little bit better just purely because we had to win that night. There was no second chance.
Back-to-back premierships for Melbourne City. City can prepare to celebrate with the Premier's plate and become just the third club to end the regular season unbeaten on their own patch, following in the footsteps of Brisbane Roar and Sydney FC.
Well, before the trophy was obviously handed to us, what I remember specifically was Jamo actually said to me, this is our trophy, as in me and him, because there was a period where he hadn't spent a lot on the pitch. And I kind of declined him and I said, look, this is your moment, you're retiring, you deserve it. And Jamo being Jamo didn't want to argue, and I kind of got roped into holding the trophy with him, and that sums up the guy that he is. He's a proper leader, and he knew that when he wasn't on the pitch, I was the guy that stepped in and helped achieve, and that went a long way for my feelings. And obviously everybody knows me and Jamo are still so close, but just knowing that the captain of the club wanted me to be involved in the trophy lifting when he didn't need to, he really didn't need to, was special. And you can see what it meant to us. And the staff, I love that the staff are in that photo because they do a hell of a lot of work. Yeah, I think we all deserve that moment, and when we celebrate after it, it's a long way to coming from when we had nothing. We'd known for a couple of weeks that we were obviously pregnant, but I hadn't scored or we hadn't had a game. So I was kind of waiting for that proper moment, and I'm glad that it happened being at AAMI Park.
Ball wide immediately for Berenguer. Turns inside, crosses, the glancing header, and the opening goal. Jamie Maclaren.
The funny thing is, I think my wife was in the toilet or something, so when I was pointing up, kissing the ball or whatever, she wasn't there. So when she came out, she's like, oh, what happened? We're 1-0 up. And my dad was like, yeah, Jamie just scored and he'd done the celebration, but you weren't there. So there I am there. Look, see, I'm looking up at her, but she's not even there. But there's my brother, and my dad's below him. My family are so important. I've missed a lot of years when I was in England, Germany and Scotland, and they're at every game. They don't miss a beat, so it's a special moment knowing they're up there supporting every week. There's no greater feeling playing in front of your family, your wife, now my baby girl. And when you have a baby, you realise that there is bigger things at play. You know, there is games where you don't score, but you'll see her smile, or you'll see her and you can hold her. And they're moments that make you really think that you just want her to be proud. And she's only 7 months old, but you just want her to be proud of her dad. And that's definitely memories for a lifetime for sure. The lead up of a couple of these weeks where everyone was talking about it. You know, I was doing promos for eventually breaking the record because I was so close. It just happened so quickly. Like, no one expected a hat-trick. I didn't expect a hat-trick.
They've found a bit of space here. O'Neill, Naboo, overlapping run, Galloway. Naboo's cross in is brilliant, and Jamie Maclaren. It wasn't as crisp a finish as we've become accustomed to, and we'll put that goal down to the quality of the delivery from Andrew Naboo to the back post.
It actually comes off my nose. I think I had a blood nose at half-time.
Leckie, so strong. Leckie still. Leckie, a little touch. Maclaren! Goal number 142. He moves level with Besart Berisha as the highest goal scorer in A-League history. What a moment for Jamie Maclaren to celebrate.
Yeah, take your time, Jamie Maclaren. You've earned it, mate. and historic goal delivered by one of Australia's greatest. They've found a bit of space. And now Leckie and Maclaren! It's Jamie Maclaren's night. He is the all-time leading goal scorer in A-League history. And fittingly, he's done it in style with the hat-trick.
A great header from Leckie, and there he is. A striker's instinct. Where will the ball drop? That's where I'll be.
Yeah, just the feeling of that third goal. I remember actually everyone from the bench running over. You know, Jamo, I think Glover came from the other end of the pitch.
It means so much not only to him, but you saw his teammates, the whole bench, goalkeeper, everyone come to celebrate.
And Nuno put his knee out so he could brush my boot. Those things were like, they knew what was at stake. I remember actually being on the pitch and being a little bit emotional and being a bit in tears, but I wasn't thinking about anything other than just, like, I could see my granddad just speaking to me like it was weird. My dad's father was the one that, before he passed away, was the one that said, go and take that record. But normally I'm actually really focused, but I was actually zoned out of what was happening in and around the pitch. It happened so quickly that when I was on the bench crying, it was like a pressure valve. It was just there boiling in the background like a volcano. It just came at once and just exploded.
A special moment for Jamie Maclaren there, and a very proud dad, Don Maclaren, alongside him for the presentation as well.
My dad's an ex-pro, and you know, many years ago he pulled me aside and said, "You've overtaken me, son." Words that will always stick with me, and yeah, it's a special moment. Nothing but positive memories that will stick with me for a very, very long time. You know, the teammates, the unsung heroes. My goals were purely there because of the guys behind me, and I've said it in every interview that I've done when I've won Golden Boots is I'm one player of 25 squad, and they help me be better, and if I can help them be better by being that cherry on top on the front end of the pitch, they're the reason why I've been successful. Every single player that I've played with, spent a minute with on the pitch, they know what I'm talking about, and that's something that we'll have for the rest of our life, that special bond. And I look forward to having a few beers with them over the future and reminiscing all these great times. For fans, they might have a shit Monday to Friday, but on the Saturday they want to come out and watch Melbourne City and watch me score a goal. And every time I score, you can see the way we celebrate is just a special thing, and I never take any goal for granted, whether that comes off my heel where I don't mean it, or ones that I do mean, or whatever. I'm always just putting myself in a position where I want to win. I know that the quality sometimes may not be there, but I'm always giving everything. The fans will see that I've given everything for this shirt, for this badge, and it's been a true honour. If there was any way I could express the way I feel, I'd be here for hours. It's something that I don't want to get obviously too emotional about, but I hope I left a legacy or a mark that they'll always remember. I hope it's a surname that will carry on, whether it's through my family or maybe my daughter might be the next Sam Kerr, you never know. It's a feeling that I'm glad I've been able to leave a mark. And I said in a post, it's not important what they think when you arrive, but it's important what they think when you leave. And if I'm leaving a good memory in people's eyes, then that's all I can ask for. I've given everything. I'm just so grateful and honoured to represent this club and these fans.